So we are live now. Did you
You go,
post that link?
yeah. The
Okay.
first thing too I was gonna tell you is that so I went today and I tried to watch the some of these Ian Garry media day interviews.
Yeah.
God, I wanna like him so bad, bro, but like something about him, I can't put my finger on it either. He just seems ingenuous. I don't know what it is. Like he's something about him. I can't put him. And then I want to know, how did he get the cut?
I saw it, but I haven't seen any media day stuff yet because I've been doing some other shit.
But you saw the cut, right?
I saw like a thumbnail with the cut. I
Bro, but
figured
I
they
didn't
asked him, but I haven't heard it.
I didn't know. I watched the first 15 minutes, not one person asked, and I'm like, how is it not one person asked?
Wow,
I
nobody
felt
asked.
I just and I went and looked on the internet, like Ian Garry cut, like you know what I mean, like maybe somewhere it happened. I mean, I'm assuming it happened during training, and he just like reopened a cut or something.
I feel like that just happened because I
It
haven't
had to
seen
have
any
happened, right?
cuts. Yeah, I feel like it just happened like a freak thing.
Yeah, because last week with when he was on Ariel show, he didn't have the cut then,
Yeah, and he just posted a video yesterday with the Caio's coach
right?
and no cut.
See, so like, I mean, it's not like it's a
Interesting.
crazy deep cut, but it could.
Well, the good thing is that it's below his eye, so if it
Yeah.
gets opened, it'll bleed down, not into his
Yeah.
eye. The bad thing is it's a cut.
Now, do you think that moves the needle a little bit now more towards Carlos Prates? I think
Um,
a little bit.
maybe in the odds makers' eyes, because like what happened? What's the story behind that cut? Did you get
Yeah.
dropped? You know what I mean? It's happened
Did
with
you?
Leon in the past at Killcliff. We
Yeah. I
don't
mean,
know.
that just
They gotta ask him about that shit.
that's I don't know. When you find it, let me know.
All
When
right.
you find it.
Well, I'll try to look at some of the media stuff real quick. Let me just type in real quick Ian Gary cut on Twitter.
I'm telling you, I looked that up and nothing came up. I just dropped a quick reaction for it. I was like, well, shit, if no one's gonna drop it, I'll at least drop it a reaction towards it.
Yeah, he's even doing an interview with this one guy 17 hours ago. He had a cut.
Makhachev is the pound for pound number one. You got to give respect where
It's a
respect is
big
due.
fucking cut,
That
dude.
backhand.
Right? It's red.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you look at some of his old photos, I think he reopened an old scar tissue.
Hmm.
That's why I'm like, well, I mean, it takes maybe one more jab to the face and you cut it open.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm thinking like all Carlos has to do is hit him a couple times there, and if it's already injured and he opens it up a little more, we can see end of the first round, Ian Garry bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a difference.
That'll make a difference. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, though. That's definitely not going to heal by the time the fight comes around.
And yeah, we're like 2 days removed. And the other thing too was that Ian Garry was kind of bragging about how he's been able to, compete against these high level guys, MVP, Shavkat. And I was thinking about it. Carlos Prates is what like he's on a 4 fight win streak too, right? And all knockouts.
All knockouts.
So I'm kind of like I'm kind of putting that into the equation and like oh I'm kind of leaning towards Carlos now.
Okay. Yeah, it
I
sounds
don't
like you're
know.
leaning towards Carlos. I was going to ask you that. So it sounds like you are. I mean, there's a few
I
X
heard Ian
factors
Garry
there.
talk. I heard Ian Garry talk today, and that's all I needed. Just once he opened. Oh, and then he said he's more Brazilian than Carlos Prates. I'm like,
That's crazy. That's crazy because I don't think.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because Carlos lives in Brazil still, or he moved to Thailand for a few
He,
years.
he's Brazilian. That's like me going to Kobe Covington and telling him I'm more white than you.
I feel like where he's getting that from is because Prates lived in Thailand for 6 years.
All right, all right, all right.
But I don't know. That's drawing straws. Like, okay, whatever.
It is
If
going
you want to
strong.
call it like that, fine, whatever.
I,
Um,
yeah, all right.
let's
I'm done. I'm done.
okay. So let me break down some of the things you're saying. I guess. I think to give it a devil's advocate, I think
Yeah.
with Prates, sorry, Prates. I
Okay.
always give it the hard A, but it's
Okay.
Prates,
Protest.
right? So no more Prates. Somebody said that
Okay.
that sounds
I'll
crazy.
do the
So
same thing.
yeah,
Protest. All right.
Prates.
All right.
I think with him, the quitting and the alcohol and the partying is what I'm banking on. That's what I'm
Okay.
banking on. I'm gonna just
Right.
throw out my ace right away. You know what I mean? Skill for skill, these guys seem to be good on paper together. But I feel like in the fifth round, when the fight gets deep, you know, all the partying versus all the discipline is going to be the X factor here.
I can see that.
That's what I see happening. I
Right.
think they're both great strikers. I'll even maybe give the edge to Carlos because he presses. Ian likes to fight off the back foot. You feel me?
I was reading that too, right? Yeah.
But I'm going to say this, and nobody's really saying it. And I think I said it in the past, but let me say it again. Carlos Prates is one liver shot away from his entire hype train being over. One liver shot away. Because of everything he does outside of the fucking training room, drinking and fucking smoking cigarettes. He's losing weight and kind of skinny, but it's like it's not muscular. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind.
No.
Like his frame is kind of like a smoker's body.
Okay, and
Skinny.
I will add to that. He has said he hasn't drank in the past almost 2 months.
I heard that.
And the reason why, and I can relate to this, is like he said, once I drink, I start drinking and I want to be at the party.
Yeah,
I'm
you
kind of
can't
very
just have
similar.
like one.
Yeah. I'm very similar to, like, if we're gonna drink, we're gonna go drink. We're drinking. It's gonna become a party, you know.
There's no point
so,
otherwise.
Right. And so
Yeah.
like he's like, I'm right now zoned in. I'm training, so I'm not even putting myself in that environment. Why go drink one or whatever? So I was like, all right. Now the smoking though, that's where too you gotta like quit the smoking though.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Just in general. It's like fucking
Yeah,
2025. Like we're
that
way
shit's
past that
nasty.
shit.
Yeah, that shit's nasty.
The science is out there for it. Ian Garry's trash talk, I guess that's where we can differ too. Like, I kind of fuck with Ian Garry's trash talk. I just enjoy the confidence, you know,
He does
like
have a
the
lot of confidence.
brashness. Like even with Buckley, you know, Buckley's my guy, right? But he's like, Buckley can barely even like string together a fucking sentence. And then like last week, he's like, I wouldn't have been mad if Buckley got the title shot. Like, I like this shit where they just like start trashing each other out of nowhere. Then they're boys like the next day. Like, it's kind of fun. I enjoy it, but you don't seem to like it.
It seems so like,
You don't believe him. You think it's disingenuous.
yeah, I don't believe it. I feel like
I believe him. Maybe I'm just a WWE guy.
Okay. I feel that it just doesn't come off natural to him. Like it's almost like he knows he needs to do that. So it's kind of forced where it's not like so like Joaquin like is a little bit more smooth with it.
No, I can see where you can kind of tell Ian does think behind his head, like it's fight week. What are some of the festivities I could bring behind it, right, to build the fight? Even the posting the video of him like hugging the coach, that's not my favorite thing in the world. But I think he posts that trying to hype up the fight, like overdoes it at some points.
Yeah. He knows that it goes back to what you said. As a fighter, there's like 3 or 4 areas of what you need to do, right? You need to know how to hype up a fight, plus training, plus good social media skills, and mic, good on the mic.
Yeah.
All those things are kind of like what you look for in a very polished fighter.
Right. And that's why I guess I'm kind of enjoying it, because I'm always complaining about this shit. So I got to keep it consistent. If he's doing it, you know what I mean? I got to let it slide, even if it's maybe cringy. Like even Henry Cejudo to some degree. People find it cringe, but for me, I'm like, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
feel
Okay.
me?
I give it that. I definitely do give it that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also wanted to give a shout out to the homie I was supposed to do some content with today, but my day got so packed. But I am going to try to get with him. Raphael Captain, connected with him like last month. So I just want to give him a quick shout out.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Raphael then. What, you just got busy with work today or something?
Yeah, and then after this, I got to go do something else. I'm like,
Okay, what time you got to get out of here? I'm thinking no later than like 5, but maybe even a little bit earlier.
yeah.
Okay, for sure. So we'll try to be concise on the topics then.
Okay.
Let me respond to Vaughn, because Vaughn just commented at me, saying like, and he usually agrees with me. So he's like saying, because I'll read the post.
I told Vaughn turn heel. He's gonna turn heel this summer.
Vaughn's like, he loves the UFC, right? Big supporter.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. A lot of people are. Let me just put this out there. So Champ Brown's posted a graphic, and it was of UFC 316, and they're like, it's coming together nicely. That's the Merab versus O'Malley card. The co-main event is fucking Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison. Yeah. Then you got Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland, Gastelum versus Pfeiffer, Chito Vera versus Mario Bautista, and Silva versus Van. Josh Van. You know Josh Van, right?
Yeah.
Bruno Silva?
Bruno Silva, okay.
So again, I don't really know the Bruno Silva at all, but he said the card is coming together nicely, and I said I beg to differ. Like I've said in the past, right to you, these media pages are overinflating the market drastically, and it sickens me. And then Vaughn says, you're not happy for the Luque versus Holland fight? So I'll just explain it real quick. Dude, that's like the Black Donald Cerrone versus fucking Luque, who's like a gatekeeper. So, like, I don't know what to be excited for. Like, these guys have openly, or Holland openly admits he doesn't care about being champion. We all know Luque is the gatekeeper past his prime. So, I mean, I'm excited for, like, a fight, I guess. But, like, if we're talking, like, big magnitude fights or even guys who will sell it, like, Luque, is he going to sell shit? We've already been down this road before. You know what I mean? With Luque. So, shout out to Vaughn for the comment, but that's my response.
And do you think that here's a good test for us when we talk about these fights?
Yeah.
Could that fight hold its own fight night?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like, there's nothing on the line. Yeah, the Carlos Prates versus Ian Garry this weekend, there's something there.
Definitely something there. And magnitude. You know what I mean? Magnitude. We're talking about, like, who can become a champion still.
Yes.
There's that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's been on a roll, right?
Right.
Like you just said, Kevin Holland, we're both almost saying, like, okay, you're just fighting to pick a paycheck. You could be exciting at sometimes. You can build it up sometimes, but you're not really going for the belt.
Right.
Or it doesn't seem like it.
And, we all know what's going to kind of happen here, I think.
And he's switching weights, right? He's going back down to
170.
Because he beat who did he beat
Gunnar.
at 170?
Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, so I mean,
in his last fight at 172.
Yeah, and okay.
It's just these wins. We're just getting him some wins to keep him, relevant, because he can't lose 5 in a row. Right. That's the story behind Kevin Holland. Like, that's why he gets a Luque. Because, like, Kevin's going to lose to the elite guys, which we're eventually going to put him up against to put him over. But in the meantime, we got to give him some gimme wins. And that's all a game.
Yeah, and that's the same with Luque. So Luque maybe he's not chasing a belt either, but he gets a win, gets a loss, gets a win, gets a loss. You know, he was supposed to fight Ian Garry last year, right? It's something after that Ian Garry fight. It just
fizzled out.
Yeah, who did he lose? Did he lose to Joaquin during that time too?
Yeah, well, the Ian Garry fight fell through, right? And then he got booked up against Sean Brady. Then Sean Brady fell through. That was supposed to be a main event too. So Luque kind of got fucked. That was supposed to be a main event. After Brady pulled out, they put him down in the co-main against Buckley. Got knocked out against Buckley. You know what I mean? And then I think he lost his other one too, and then he just finally beat Themba. Yeah. So it's been a rough road for Vicente.
That's right. I mean, I will say this: they're 2-game opponents. It's cool. Okay. I'm not gonna be like, oh wow.
Definitely.
Can't wait for that one.
Definitely. And I would say too, Vicente's in a worse position than a Kevin Holland, because Vicente, like I said, he doesn't even care to sell anything. Like, he's just a gatekeeper. At least Kevin's like a Black Donald Cerrone who can also talk trash.
Right.
And then Vicente is like a Kevin Holland without the trash talking part.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Other big fights on this card. I know we got Randy Brown coming up. So shout out to Randy Brown. He's on the main card. Hopefully he can get the dub. He's coming off that tough fight with Brian Battle.
Yep.
And we all know that was kind of like
I expected so much more from Randy Brown on that fight too.
Yeah, well, Randy feels like he won that fight. So I guess there's some people who argue like he could have won that. At least he didn't get knocked out or anything. But can you pull up the card? I don't really have it on me right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Here's the thing: no one really put their stamp on it though.
No,
that's my thing. And so I'm bringing up I brought up the fight. I mean, he's fucking Dalby. Oh, that's a good fight actually.
Dalby, that's a good fight. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Great fight. I'm gonna tune into that one. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's number 1, 2, 3. It's number 4 on the card. So you got co-main is Anthony Smith versus Zhang Mingyang.
Yeah, I don't really got much to say, but I know it's Anthony's retirement fight, and everyone's saying he's gonna get knocked out. I'm not familiar with Ming Yin Yang. I've been seeing his highlight reel. Shout out to him. Probably gonna knock him out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it as a co-main.
Yeah, but this is the UFC these days.
Yeah. Let's see. Featherweight bout number 3 is the third fight is Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. I like both of these guys actually.
They're right.
Yeah, uh, Chikadze lost to Arnold Allen last.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like hate on them, but I probably
David
won't watch that
Onama,
fight. I'll be dead honest.
David Onama's 13-2.
Actually, I'll watch that fight. Those are two good fighters.
He's on a nice little win streak right now. 3 fights. Last fight he lost to his Landwehr.
Let me
Uh,
pull this up too.
13-2. I mean, if he beats Giga, is that his name? Giga?
Yeah, Giga.
Giga Chikadze, he's gonna be scratching into that top 15 contention for sure.
And just to put a stamp on it, you're going Prates this weekend. I'm gonna go Garry. I can't say everything I've been saying about Prates and pick him to lose or beat Garry. I just spit.
You know what? The cut kind of swaying me right now.
I swayed you a little bit.
Yeah, because it's almost like if we get out of that first round and he's hit him a couple times and we see it now bleeding, it changes everything.
Oh, the cut's swaying you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I'm saying, keep this in mind. It's not above the eye.
I get that.
Ian's a pretty tough guy. I don't think the pain is going to bother him at all.
But it still becomes, it becomes like what word do I want to use?
But if you look at Colby's was above his eyelid. You feel me?
True.
So just keep that in mind. He was wiping a lot, doing what you're just kind of showing right there. But I'm telling you, underneath it with the adrenaline, let's see. Carlos is a sniper, though. Like, I don't fucking doubt Carlos at all. Like I keep saying, it's all about that cigarettes and drinking to me. And his age a little bit. He's also the older, he's been beat up a little bit more than Ian has. And he quit. These are all things, you can't take back.
I'm gonna go Prates.
Okay.
Prates, right?
Prates. And I got Garry. Number 7 versus number 13. I don't know how Prates got that ranking. When did that happen?
Get the number, what?
They just threw him up in there because he got the main event. When was Prates put at number 13?
When he beat Neil Magny.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Got it. Michelle Pereira, Abu Smagomedov. I'm going to be rocking with Michelle. He's been fucking dominating. Is he on a big win streak?
Abis is on a 2-fight win streak. His last loss was to Caio Borralho in Sean Strickland.
Yeah, so the UFC is going to want
I'm
Michelle.
going Magmed.
Okay. Oh, so Michelle just lost to Anthony Hernandez ground and pound in the 5th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he destroyed him, remember?
Yeah, last October. But that's Anthony's a dog now. And everybody, the Anthony Hernandez interview is live. It took me a fucking hot minute to post it. My apologies, but, go tap in if you haven't already. It was some good shit.
Did he reach out to you and be like, hey, when are you gonna upload that?
He didn't. He's so unbothered. Like, I don't think I got lucky with him because other guys might have been.
Yeah, he's so like, whatever, bro.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't text me. But then I was like, nah, he doesn't care. He probably thinks it came out. He has no clue.
Right.
But dude, before Michelle's loss, right, to Hernandez, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row in the UFC.
Yeah, Michelle's like the crazy one, right? He does all those crazy like fucking moves and shit.
Yeah, so he's 9-3 in the UFC. It says right here, and Abu is 3-2. Bro, Abu's been in the UFC for a hot minute, and he's only had fucking 5 fights. That's the problem with these Russians, bro. Since 2022, this man's been in the UFC.
5 fights. Hey, evidently, he don't need the money, right?
I don't know where the fuck they get their money from.
I know, right? Because if it was me, I'd be like Joaquin and Charles, like, bro, I gotta go.
There are so many fighters who I wonder that about. You probably don't know her, which also proves my point about the women fighters. But Courtney Casey, she barely fucking fights, and she kind of like is like 50-50 of a fighter. So half the time she only gets her show money. And I don't know how she fucking like trains, and doesn't work a regular job. A lot of these people, I don't know how they do it.
Paycheck to paycheck, bro.
But bro, she hasn't fought in like a year and a half, like, and she doesn't have a job.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, where do you get your money?
Like, who's her man?
I guess she's got a man, but her man is like a fighter, not in the UFC.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear what happened with Shannon Sharp?
Bro, should we talk about that real quick?
This
Bro,
dude,
shout out to
and
Shannon, man.
he came out and he dropped his own video like, man, fuck it. Drop the whole fucking sex tape.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into this, one second. Ikram
Yeah.
Aliskerov, Andre Muniz, shout out to that fight. That's a great fight.
Really? Why?
Ikram,
I don't know these guys.
Ikram is the
Oh,
guy.
Ikram. Okay. Okay. I've seen him fight. Yeah. Yeah.
He's kind of just known for getting knocked out by Khamzat, but he's apparently really good. One of Khabib's training partners in the past. And Andre Muniz was at one point in time supposed to be a hot prospect out of Brazil, jiu-jitsu guy. So we're going to kind of, it's like Brazilian grappler versus Russian grappler. We're going to kind of see here.
Got you.
Both guys have fallen on hard times lately, so a win
Yeah.
here really means a lot.
Well, no. Okay. So Ikram lost to
Whitaker got knocked out.
All right.
Muniz has losses to like Brendan Allen and shit. You feel me?
Okay. Okay. I see here. Actually, I'm gonna go with Ikram.
Okay, fair enough.
And then the other one too, I was just gonna say one of the guys was on the Dana White Contender
You're talking
Series.
about
That's fighting.
Wellmaker?
Yeah, I like his story.
What is his story? I've been seeing him, but you got to prove it because honestly, these Contender Series guys have been overhyped. But he's undefeated. I'm seeing right here.
He was working, like forgot what he was, like a journeyman almost, like a welder.
Okay.
Fucking then, going fighting and training on the week, during right after work.
Okay. I
Like
it.
fucking
Respect.
grinding, bro. Yeah, like I like his backstory. Like I like that he gets on the mic. He has all those things that you like behind the scenes.
He does. I see his confidence for sure.
Yeah, he just has to get in, get some wins.
Just gotta win.
Yeah, he just gotta win. Who's the guy he's fighting?
Cameron Simon, who is a tough out.
Okay. So welcome to the UFC.
Yeah. Ow.
He's 9-2. Bro, and see, that's why a lot of times I like the undercards because I get to see stuff like that. Interesting, Simon lost to Talbot. He got KO'd. So
Yeah.
he's definitely gonna have something to prove. And he's not gonna want this newcomer to come in and fucking, take his light away all the way.
Exactly.
And the newcomers are like, nah, bro, I'm ready. Let's put me in. This is why I
He's
want
chomping at the bit.
Right. See, that's what I love, that like two young up and comers, and one of them, it's do or die almost. Because you can't lose.
Yeah.
Damon Blackshear too. I like him as well.
Pauliana Viana's on the card. Shout out to her.
Oh yeah.
She's a big underdog.
You know what I hate to say, who she reminds me of?
Who?
Fucking the homegirl that just Diana Balbita.
Oh, like a baddie that can't really get the dub.
Yeah.
Like the fans love to see her out there.
Bro, she's minus 550.
Yeah,
Plus
big
550.
underdog.
Yeah, it's like she looks super good, but she just cannot get a win in the UFC.
With these girls who are like, top level.
Yeah,
She could
exactly.
she could knock the fuck out of these scrubs, but these girls who can compete with her, she doesn't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and I think she went out with Kobe.
Yeah, she did. Hey, so okay. Shannon Sharp, right? I've been following, I've just been keeping up with the articles that come up on my timeline.
Yeah.
So this girl, you know the whole story or what?
Kind of, not the whole story. I know that, he's fucking around with this OnlyFans girl and fucking they created a sex tape. Now she's trying to fucking blackmail him.
Yeah, so apparently though, here's some of the details, right? Yeah, apparently with the calling it R, right? Saying he graped her.
Oh yeah.
Right. And the reason why she's saying that is because apparently she wanted to have protected butt intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it unprotected. And so now, like, I guess their conversation has surfaced where it's like, I, wanted to have it, but I didn't want it to be unprotected. You know what I mean? And then he's like, you'll be fine and shit like that. So that's like the big X factor here. And then he's also saying like, choking. He was gonna like choke her. He wants to choke her. And then he said something weird like, this is a literal quote from him, but he says like, big black man chokes small white woman. And that's a phone call they just released. But they're saying this is a smear campaign, and they're just releasing these bits and pieces to make it sound like he's a bad guy.
Right.
But it's not in full context with their relationship, which they're claiming was some weird shit where it's like a servant and like a so one of those weird ones. I don't even know like what you call it, but a slave and a master.
I get it. But look at this goes
Some kinky shit.
Yeah, it is kinky shit. And hey, whatever. Do you, right?
Do you? I guess, yeah.
Like
here's
my thing too. Like, Shannon should be way smarter than this, bro. He's been in the NFL.
Well,
He's had to deal with thoughts his whole life. He's had to deal with groupies and fucking people trying to have your kid just to get the money. This is almost to the extent of no different, right? He put himself in a position where this girl can now put him in harm's way over really just nutting, bro. Like, just because you found someone really young and you think she's really hot and you have all the money probably in the world, you could do whatever the fuck you want and you could spoil her. You could act like, you could tell her everything that she wants to hear, but behind the scenes, she's probably plotting.
In other words, right? In other words, what you're saying, it kind of seems like to some degree, because, right, you're saying like it wasn't really grape, right? It wasn't really, because they had a relationship.
Right.
So she's kind of picking apart an intricacy in their relationship, which was like she asked for this to not be protected or to be protected, and then he did it unprotected. It's as if your girlfriend's claiming you did that to her after you guys break up. It comes off, like you said earlier, right? The word very disingenuine.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, the trial that played out, right, for the whole world to see, she claimed all these things, and it turned out that she was the abuser. Not to point fingers in this case, but I'm just saying, when people break up and shit, and then all of a sudden your wife is going to claim like sexual abuse of all things, or your girlfriend, very odd one to claim. Sounds like the last fucking chance you got at hanging on to anything.
I think, there can be relationships where someone's being abused, and by the time they get out of it, they're like, hey, all this shit comes to light. And there can be, like, in this circumstance, like what you just said, like the kinky shit, right? Evidently, I didn't even know who she was or that she was on OnlyFans or whatever, right? But evidently, she's a low-key sex worker, right? It's like the modern day, OnlyFans are the modern day strippers.
Mm-hmm.
She's in it for the money. I'm sure that he's like, hey, I can spoil you, I can give you whatever the fuck you want. I'm a millionaire, I'll take care of you. Oh, but I want this, playing those roles, like you said. But in the back of her mind, bro, she's like, man, I'm gonna get this motherfucker.
Bro, she's recording all their calls.
Right. 50 million? She's trying to sue for 50 million?
Yeah. Well, apparently he offered her something before this even became public, millions of dollars, and she turned it down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, he's just now like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go with it. He does have that personality. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll air out my dirty laundry. You're not gonna blackmail me. And more power, like I said, more power to him if he wants to get his dirty laundry aired like that. Lose sponsors probably and on everything that comes with it. He just should be smarter than that, bro. Because he's been in the NFL, like he's been having that his whole life.
Fuck the NFL. He's on ESPN right now.
But what I mean is that as an NFL player in his prime and his 20s, bro, Anthony.
You're talking about how women come at you when you're in your prime.
The basketball player Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
So, like, he has a baby mama right now, right? Yeah. But I was like, bro, dog, you could have any girl you want, bro. You're a multi-millionaire. You're a star of the league and shit. Why her?
Mm-hmm.
She already got baby daddies and shit. Look at her online and shit, bro. And she getting, like, I think, what, $50,000 a month from him?
Some of these guys are dumb, bro.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Shannon Sharp's been through all this.
Mm-hmm.
He has. He knows what time it is. You know what I mean? Like, he's had to deal with this his whole life.
Yeah.
And now he got caught up again. She a baddie. Don't get me wrong. She a baddie.
She is. But I don't know.
But now look at, is it worth 20 million?
Definitely not. I mean, dude, at this point in his life, right, at his age, it's like, bro, you should get married or some shit, man. Like on a different note, right? Like, I feel like that's a lonely ass life, bro. You're out here fucking like OnlyFans chicks. Like, you don't got a woman to stick by her side at this point. You got millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're out here doing weird shit like this. I'm gonna be real too. It's hard for me to trust a guy, right? Because it's not my personality, so it's just hard for me to fathom. Maybe it's more normal, right? But it's hard for me to trust a dude that kind of does that shit with like a woman. Like, as far as like even saying he's gonna choke her, even if that's the context of your relationship, right? Even if it was consensual, for you to kind of be like playing along with it and like feeding it, I just don't know anybody like that.
Right.
You feel me? So like I can't be like,
You're
yeah,
not-
I
you're
still
not going
trust
into-
his ass.
You're not going to those like sex parties and shit.
Nah, those Diddy parties and shit where maybe more of
Yeah.
that shit happens.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
it's my point is this, right? Now on his podcast where he tries to keep like a moral high ground and shit, I'm always gonna be thinking back in the back of my mind, not even about that sex tape where he went live on Instagram. That was like whatever, right? That keeps getting brought up. Now people are gonna be bringing up the fact that he's saying shit like, "I'ma choke you."
Yeah.
Big black man chokes small white woman. That's words that came out of his mouth
Yeah. Yeah.
on the phone that she recorded.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, dude, why are you even like saying weird shit like that? Like, I don't even care if that's the context of your relationship. Let me put it like this, right? If a girl came up to me and she's like, hey, like, let me fuck around with you like that, right? Let me kind of like, be your slave. Let me put it like this. I'd probably fuck around with her a couple times, right? Because I'm a crazy guy. You feel me? We all like that craziness every now and then. But I wouldn't do anything long term. I'd like, see you later. You feel me?
Yeah. I feel you.
I'd run it and then like see you later. I wouldn't be on the phone with her like having these long, drawn out phone calls saying weird ass shit. Like it's over with. You know what I mean? I would have done that shit in person, especially like you're saying, being famous. I would have got a lot of that shit out in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Would have said it all where I needed to say it. If I felt like I want to live out some more crazy shit, invite her over one more time, say it there. But I don't know where he's getting off saying it on the phone and shit. And sometimes, guys, let me put it like this, right? To answer my own question, because I'm pretty good at sometimes picking this stuff apart. Sometimes I think guys become so narcissistic, think they can control everything, think nobody can really come at them, that they kind of forget, that like, this girl could easily turn you in, but you think you have such a hold on her that she wouldn't dare do that. And so that's why you break these boundaries that you normally wouldn't, because you think you've conquered her. And it appears you were far from conquering this girl. In fact, she was in the middle of conquering you, setting you up, plotting on you. And now, you got the biggest podcast in the world. You're on one of the biggest shows on ESPN, First Take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless if you continue, like I said, that reputation with the shit you said, it's weird. Even if you're innocent, I think that shit's weird.
Yeah, and I think too, it kind of goes back to what you said earlier too. I mean, you would hope, it's almost like the Diddy effect into the extreme of like, hey, you still have these sexual desires with all the money and fame in the world that you're allowed to now be. You can push your deepest desires, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that Lotus shit?
No, but I think you were telling me about that.
Oh, they talk about like going to Bangkok and Thailand and shit. Like, if you're a rich ass dude, bro, you could probably do whatever the fuck you want. That's why people love going to countries like that, because no one's looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You could play out all your darkest fantasies.
Right. Because it's more normalized in Thailand, for example.
Yeah, to an extent, right? I'm not going to say like normalized, but you might be able to push the envelope a lot more.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Diddy and him rolling into their 50s and still having something within inside them that wants to fulfill out these sexual desires. They probably have. Well, Shannon Sharp's probably done a lot in his life sexually, right?
I mean, it seems like it. He keeps getting busted for like weird ass shit.
And Diddy, right? And I hate to throw him and Diddy in the same boat, but that's kind of fucked up. But Diddy evidently too, bro. Like he had all these sexual like perversions that he still wanted to fulfill. He could not fill that glass high enough. His water was overflowing, bro. Like with whatever sexual perversions he wanted, he just kept fucking pouring water into it.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't get enough. He kept pushing the boundary. And what you said earlier, like you said, like you would hope someone gets to a certain age, they're like, hey, I don't need that anymore. I've already fulfilled that. Or like, that's not what you said too. That's not someone you really want to be with though.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like what one night, okay, cool, whatever. We played out a little role and shit, fine. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But that's not someone I'm gonna want to be like, hey, all I can't wait to marry you.
Right.
Like, I
Or
guess
even
if
be
you like
talking to for 2 to 3 months. I mean, you got to check yourself at some point.
you got
Where
to
this
check
girl
yourself.
ain't no good.
Yeah,
You feel me?
and I know he was married before and he's been divorced and shit. So like, he's almost like Tom Brady right now. Tom Brady was married to fucking Giselle, right?
Mhm.
Tom Brady's probably out there fucking doing whatever, right?
Right.
But hopefully Tom's not gonna wouldn't be caught in a situation where he's fucking an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's how many bridges, how many lines will you cross to fulfill your sexual desires?
Well, here's another thing I'll throw out there, which is like, sometimes, and hey, shout out to the women out there, right? Sometimes it's not the easiest, right, for guys. I don't feel like it's super complicated, like, because even think about when you mentioned Tom Brady. I'm not even trying to speak on myself, right? Speak about Tom Brady, like a guy like Tom Brady, he could easily get chicks. This is what I'd like to see him do, right? Get any hot ass chick he wants, fuck around with her for a weekend, a week, a couple months, as long as you're a good girl, right? Beautiful girl who's not like an OnlyFans chick or a stripper. Can I put it like that?
Yeah.
You're just a regular chick. Maybe you meet her in the gym at a 24-hour fitness, or what's the expensive gym? A Lifetime.
Okay.
You meet
there's other few of them, but
a
yeah.
nice wealthy woman at a wealthy gym. Let me put it like that, right? So it's a whole good vibe. Fuck her out there for a couple months, move on to the next one, do your thing there with another beautiful woman down the line, right? You go on a trip to Cuba, right? Because you got all this money. Pick up a beautiful Cuban girl in a restaurant, right? You're Tom fucking Brady, bro. You don't need to go to these OnlyFans girls and flex your money all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like to some degree that's what Shannon was doing with his sexual deviances. And it's like, bro, just have like normal ass game. Pick up chicks like wherever you're at. You're a fucking big dog anyway. Like, to complicate it and to start like bringing in OnlyFans chicks and then bringing in like your money into play and shit like that, I feel like it really complicates things. Go pick up a normal innocent chick who's not, basically waiting on a guy like you to drop into her lap.
Exactly. And meeting someone that's already going after money in
Right,
a
that's my
sexual
point.
way.
And,
in a sexual
and a sex
way.
worker, and now you're gonna have sex with her, and sex is all about money to her. Think about it. Sex is money to her. That's her profession. You think you're just gonna fuck her for free? Get the fuck out of here, bro. But I don't know why these guys want these OnlyFans chicks. They're the most ran through chicks. You could get a way hotter girl at the gym. I promise you. I promise you. A lot of these OnlyFans chicks, I don't find that attractive. This girl, when I look at her, she's mid.
She's alright. Yeah, she's cute.
She's cute. She's cute. But
Yeah.
I ain't buying all that fucking like fake hype and shit, overinflating that market like I always talk about.
Yeah.
Just
Not
because
50
you
million.
post naked photos online, I could find a hotter chick at the gym right now down the street. I promise
You
you.
know, you know what's interesting is like
Maybe
we've
she doesn't have a
interviewed-
bigger ass. Maybe she doesn't have bigger tits. But I think overall she's way hotter, and she's not after my money, which is like fucking add 5 points on top of that off the bat.
Yeah, what's funny is that we've had some OnlyFans girls that we've interviewed at the station and shit, and it's always like I have friends that are strippers. I think I've told you this before. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you don't mind it.
I have too many friends, bro, that have baby mamas that are.
And I
strippers
don't judge
shit.
either, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
date you.
but-
Come on.
And it goes back to what you said. I long term, I could never like hold that.
Right.
For that time, we could have a little, but long term, I couldn't go to like let's say we're all hanging out. Like, hey, what does she do? Oh, she does OF. Like, oh, all right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, each his own. But it wouldn't be someone I'd be like, hey, we're in a relationship now.
Exactly. I agree.
All right, what's next? All right.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp. In
Shout
the
out to-
title, right? We barely hit on the title last week, so let me get this one out of the way.
Okay.
Ooh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
BJ Penn?
Yeah, we about to dive in deep. BJ Penn believes Brendan Schaub is Aaron Hernandez, the late Aaron Hernandez, who's convicted of
crazy.
murder, right?
That's
a serial killer, in
crazy.
fact. I don't know if he thinks he's like Aaron Hernandez reincarnated. They're both alive at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the fucking case. You can't be reincarnated when you're both alive at the same time. I mean, shit, bro. If you look at that shoulder comparison, though, it's pretty fucking close. Like, I don't believe him, but the photos, pretty convincing if you're on meth.
Yeah, I'm more convinced now that it's not his mom, it's not his brother.
Yeah, you're doing this to everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
He also did it to the governor of Hawaii, basically. Some guy, right? Some Hawaiian guy, like a local guy, posted, I don't know, I think he's a personality. He's got like a few 10,000 followers, right?
Okay.
10, 20, 30,000, whatever it is. I saw him post something. He's like, well, BJ's at it again. right? He's gone crazy again. I told you guys it's meth. You didn't believe me the first time, but now he's saying this about somebody else's brothers and shit. He's on meth. Long story short, BJ responded to that, and he's like, this actor, this like personality is really like the governor of Hawaii, like something Green, Josh Green or something like that. And so again, he put side by sides of them, screenshots from his Instagram, and then like press conferences from being the mayor. You feel me? And he put screenshots side by sides, and he's like, yeah, Josh Green is this Instagram personality. He's wearing a disguise. Just so happens that the guy he's accusing of being an imposter is talking shit about him. So it also seems like if you talk shit about BJ will look for comparisons, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me add this into it. Go ahead, share your thought. And then
I was gonna say, to me, it seems like there's a combination here. If there's drugs and a little bit of CTE, like blending in together,
and narcissism.
I don't know about narcissism. I'm just saying like the CTE, and if there are drugs involved, it's probably even making it worse because something's not right at this point.
Yeah, but also remember, I feel like he's blaming his mom, saying that's not his real mom because he doesn't have as much money as he used to have. The family business is failing. She's selling the house to compensate for the loss of money. And he's saying, you're not my mom, you're crazy. I feel like he's because people who do what he doesn't want them to do, he's now blaming them and like criticizing them.
Okay.
Saying you're not this person. Like it's a tick.
Well,
Almost like a tick.
What about Brendan Schaub? Does he have something against him?
I don't think so necessarily. But I've seen him do it with just a couple people, like with his mom, and then the guy who was talking shit about him on Instagram who went viral. He instantly made a clip, and he's like, "Yeah, this guy's this guy."
There's a pattern.
A pattern of like if you
talk bad about him, he's now clapping back, saying something crazy.
Well, you know, it's just his head is a little bit off right now, so it's like very weak-minded. I feel like so it's just a quick like jerk reaction, and like he doesn't have the common sense to really like combat his jerk reactions because I think he's on drugs and not sleeping. I mean, he looks tired as fuck in the pictures. Like you saw the picture with John Jones, right? His eyes look so tired.
Let me look at that one again.
He looks like he hasn't been sleeping in a hot minute. My SIL went crazy and thought we were all working for the government to undermine her. Oh, sister-in-law. Yeah, bro. I don't know what they be on, brother. Blood and beer. Also, this one's a little bit random, but Orlando Brown, he did a no jumper interview, and he did the same shit as BJ Penn. He's like, you know, this person is that person. Like he thinks people are other people.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of drug these guys are on.
I mean, meth's a good call. Meth's a good call out.
Yeah. But if you look, Orlando Brown kind of looks like a Raven, Simone. No, but I think he said, okay, Orlando Brown was saying that somebody's really Keke Palmer in that interview. Like he's like, Keke Palmer's actually like this person. So I don't know what's up with these guys. I don't know, man.
You see a Big U came out and said he wanted Trump's to pardon him?
Yeah, bro, but I don't know. Big U seems like a criminal to me. I just keep it a buck with just my initial reactions to shit. Big U seems like a fake nice guy.
Oh, big time.
He be playing up in the media and in the cameras, but behind closed doors, he's a demon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't fuck with that gang shit, bro. I don't, you know, all that not snitching and all that crime and all that extortion, I'm not with that.
It's a Big U believes he can convince Trump to help him with his RICO case. A U.S. attorney claimed Big U said he manipulated the president while referring to him as the Orange Man. A judge ruled that he remained in custody until his trial due to flight risk concerns.
Hey, real quick. Blood and Beer's asking who's Big U. Let me respond to the homie real quick. So Blood and Beer says meth. He's responding to us. Meth is what it seems like, but we got her checked into the loony bin, and she had no drugs in her system. Wild shit. He's talking about his sister-in-law, who was the same way as BJ Penn. So BJ Penn could get checked into the loony bin and probably won't have any shit in his system, which is odd.
You wouldn't. You mean if he got checked in? You mean if they did a drug test on him?
Yeah. Because BJ Penn went and linked up with John Jones, and he was fine. Right. Some people just lose their mind, become schizo, bro. Plus the CTE. Also, Blood and Beer said, who's Big U? So Big U is a fucking famous Crip out of Los Angeles. And he's accused of extorting a lot of famous people who came through here, a lot of celebrities who came and stayed in LA for video shoots and all kinds of things. He's extorted them for money. and shit
Well,
like
he's
that.
accused right now for dumping a body in Las Vegas. He's on a federal charges right now.
Right, and dumping a body because the guy made a diss song about him, his own rapper, signed to his agency.
Right.
And then he dumped his body in Vegas. That's the story.
And then Loose Cannon went and said that, Big U had called him 30 minutes before Nipsey's murder, and that and said, "Hey, did you hear what happened to Nipsey 30 minutes before he was murdered?"
Right, and then he got that episode taken down because he sent a cease and desist to No Jumper, saying delete that episode. And so after Big U got locked up, the feds knocked on Adam's door saying, "Yo, give us that footage of that episode. We want to see that cease and desist." Mm-hmm. So they're interested in even the Nipsey Hussle death. That's a big one, Blood and Beer. The Nipsey Hussle death is a big one. They're planting multiple murders on this man.
Long story short,
who claims to be a pillar to the society. That's his issue.
Right. Yeah. It became a content creator, after the fact, Crip. So he's a gang member at the end of the day.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's the BJ Penn update. I don't got much else on the BJ Penn.
Hey, that's the hood. That's the hood news of the week.
That's the hood news of the week. We usually got one story of the week for you on that. It always comes out a little bit. The ratchet in us. You feel me?
The ratchet in us. Yeah. We're on the street.
Yeah. Big deal. Big deal. Okay, so we got a few other hot topics though. So stick around, Blood and Beer. We got some good ones for you. Let's hop into two big ones real quick. So let's go chronological. I think what happened first was DDP was injured.
Okay, I saw that.
So apparently, right, I don't have anything to back this up, but apparently word on the street is it's a broken fucking shin.
Ugh.
That ain't no light injury.
Fuck no.
That ain't no light injury. So he's going to be out for a hot minute, probably not until next year.
That sucks.
So, what do we have? We got Imavov, we got Khamzat, who was supposed to fight Dricus, and we got Caio, who's trying to get a fight here.
That's right. Caio and Imavov.
And the way those rankings go in order of deserving a title shot, it goes Khamzat, Imavov, and then Caio.
Yeah.
So what do we do here?
I don't hate that Kyle would have to wait in line and give him. I'd say give him Izzy.
Yeah. Who is he?
Kyle.
Yeah, you got to keep Caio busy, but you can't let him mess up the money by fighting like a Khamzat or an Imavov yet. So give him like an Izzy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Imavov is a well deserved.
Now, I wasn't calling for an interim shot, right? I really wasn't. But with a broken shin, if you're gonna be out for a whole calendar year when it's all said and done, I say fuck it. Give an interim.
Yeah.
And it's got to be Khamzat versus Imavov for the interim?
Yeah.
It has to be.
100% with that. Imavov is the number one contender in the division. Khamzat was more than likely going to fight DDP for the belt.
And Imavov was on record, right? And Kyle's already revealed it. So both guys have admitted this is true. The UFC tried to book that fight, apparently, and they both said no. Or no, Imavov said no. Because Caio really isn't deserving of it, to be honest. And I like Caio. It's nothing against Caio.
Yeah, I like Caio too.
But he just hasn't done the work that Imavov done. Imavov just knocked out Izzy. Why the fuck are you going to fight Caio? It makes no sense. So Imavov
but at the same time,
will accept a fight against Khamzat.
But it goes back to what you said too. Is like, I mean, he got to say, he said something though. You know what I mean? So like, I give him that.
Wait, who said something?
Caio. Like at least he's putting his name out there.
He's trying, but it's up to the UFC to be like, hey, you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. You like that though from fighters.
I do like that, and that's what I'm saying. Keep him busy. Give him somebody good. I recognize the situation. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I like an Izzy. I like has he beat? No, he hasn't beat Whitaker yet, has he? Give him a Whitaker.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Sean Strickland right there. You got Izzy, and you got Robert Whitaker. Those are the three guys in front of him. Let me ask you this: out of those three fighters, who would you pick?
Bro, I thought you just froze for a second. For Caio?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, perfect timing. I would give Caio, so I'm going to take off Izzy. Izzy, no.
Okay.
Apparently Whitaker said no.
But was this no before they found out about DDP injured?
I think it was before that. So things have changed.
Here's my thing. Sean Strickland coming off a loss. Izzy's coming off the loss. Robert Whitaker's coming off a win. If it was me, I put Kyle and Whitaker together.
And you put Sean and Izzy together.
Yes.
We got it all figured out.
Yes.
No more.
I like that.
No more.
Clip that motherfucker right
Clip
there.
that
The
shit.
last 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
Okay, so let's do recap. Imavov interim versus Khamzat.
International Fight Week? No, I guess not. We're gonna get into International Fight Week.
Kyle versus Robert Whitaker. They both coming off wins. Sean Strickland versus Izzy. They're both coming off losses.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna throw this out there. Khamzat versus Imavov, co-main International Fight Week. We're gonna lead into the next topic. The next topic. Islam Makhachev could potentially be getting stripped here. Ilia Topuria, they're all saying, these are all rumors, right? So much fucking like hearsay, so it's hard for me to say. So it hasn't been an official report from the UFC, but they're saying Ilia Topuria training camp started. He announced that. They're also saying Ilia Topuria will be fighting for an undisputed or vacant title. It will not be an interim, meaning either Islam fights Ilia or he gets stripped and moves up to welterweight. Very complicated situation here.
I don't even know if I put any. You know what I feel like? You know when there's no week of UFC, you hear all these kind of stories come out?
Because they ain't no content to post about the fucking
Right.
fights, yeah.
Right. So I don't know how much weight I put on these.
You notice I haven't really been posting all that stuff, right, on my Instagram because it's
Yeah.
a lot of it's hearsay. Like, I don't know the reporter that's reporting this, the Mexican name.
How would you strip Islam?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we haven't heard
Like, how
anything
would-
from Islam.
I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest, almost becoming the GOAT, the number one pound for pound. What is 7? I don't know how much. What 13, 10, a 12 fight win streak? There's no way they would do that.
No.
That'd be the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I'm glad you said that because that's the thing, right? Islam stripped. I guess that's only a potential if, I guess, what's his name fights for the vacant title, though.
Okay, here's the only thing. If he finds out May 15th that the winner is JDM and he moves up and he vacates it, that I can sell. I can buy.
Yeah, but I think that's crazy. I don't see JDM getting the win. We could rewind the tape. You know what I mean? But his odds of that happening are very bleak. Let me say this, right? It's everybody's been saying this, so let me say this. Yes, Islam Makhachev, we will give you the credit if you fight Ilia Topuria next. We will not say he's another featherweight you beat. We will give you all the credit you deserve. Case
So
and
you
point.
You don't think he gets all the credit he deserves at this moment?
This is the whole argument why he doesn't want to fight Ilia. Because they're saying people will just say I fought another featherweight. Because the last two were against fucking Volkanovski. Then, you know what I'm saying? He's saying I want to fight a real lightweight. I don't want to fight a featherweight. But, bro, Ilia is the fucking guy. I don't care about all your politicking. Ilia is the guy, bro. And you could play this narrative. This is how the fighters do it, though. It's all a game. So it's politics, right? It's disingenuine. I'm going to call it out again. Keyword of the day, disingenuine. Islam is saying this stuff, but he doesn't mean it. Islam really wants Ilia to get more fights under his belt, more wear and tear on his body, so it's more even. Right now you got the fresh up-and-comer, the fresh contender, knocking out everybody. Islam wants him to face some more adversity so then he can get his hands on him. That's what he's saying without saying it. Otherwise, you would fight him.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter about the whole featherweight thing. Everybody respects a super fight. And this guy just knocked out the last two featherweight goats, Max and Alex, back to back. So you're going to get all the respect you deserve. So that whole narrative, you're just saying things, but it doesn't really mean anything. All the fans would respect it.
And I think that I think a lot of this also came out is because Ilia Topuria posted in training camp now, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of got
and
everybody.
then DDP fell out, so it's like we need a fight for International Fight Week. I guess this is leading to my next thing, the main event for International Fight Week. Islam versus Ilia sounds like a great fucking fight to me. If Islam wants to stop fucking playing around. Because I already said my piece about how he's being disingenuine, and now, since we all know that that's fucking the standard of what's happening right now, now it's just time to say this. You need to be the main event for International Fight Week against Ilia Topuria, or you're fucking playing around.
I'll say this, like who the next best option is what? Armin?
We don't care about
But
that
I think
anymore.
Armin
Ilia's a way bigger name, bro.
Yeah. I think yeah, and I think we thought if I thought big picture, Ilia versus Islam is definitely the fight that everybody would be like, okay, let's fucking go.
let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
And genuine answer on your part. Who would you give Islam more credit for beating? Ilya or Arman?
Ilya, just because he has so much hype around him.
He's got, in my opinion, Ilya too. He's got gold. He's beat better guys than, dude.
Yeah.
Max could easily knock out Arman.
And he's gonna sell the fight to like he will make us hate him.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Like,
so we got it right there.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I love about Ilya is like he plays that fucking dude that I don't want to like to the T.
He really does. He's great at
Because
it.
his confidence just is like, bro, I'm better than everybody.
Facts. So that's could be the main event, International Fight Week, co-main, Khamzat Chimaev interim middleweight title for when Dricus returns from shin injury.
You know what I was gonna say? I watched the Joe Rogan interview with Ilya. I don't know why, bro, but I thought that shit was boring. I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes.
Really?
I don't know why.
Well, Joe's interviews, to be honest with you, they're not the best anymore. He kind of lost his touch. And shout out to Joe. I know he's trying to just give fighters publicity, which is fine, but
yeah, of course.
But like they're not the best anymore. I will admit that. I don't really watch them as.
I don't know.
There
was something. I don't know what it was. It was just something that I was just like.
Was it the duo, or was it Ilya, or was it Joe, or what would you kind of pin the blame on? The chemistry, or like what would you kind of pin it on if you could put it on one thing?
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah, for me, I think Joe. He used to be able to get away with some of the part where it's like, I'm just gonna shoot the shit with you and talk and have a conversation. But I feel like nowadays times have changed a little bit where like I would like to have him have more of an intentional conversation where he can hit on big key points of things. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's too casual. It's like, what am I sitting here listening to? Two guys talking? You know, like, because I'm a grown-ass man, right? So I don't really care about Joe and fucking Ilya talking about like how they cook their fucking steak. You feel me? But I'm tuning in because I want to know about Ilya's kind of like what's next for him and all this stuff, which they eventually get to, but you got to sit there for like an hour to get to it.
But even with Ilya, when I was watching, I was just like, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. It was something even about Ilya. It was something about him too.
Fair enough, but hey, that's one of the future stars. You're gonna have to keep listening to him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I get that.
But like you said, he plays that part good, so you respect it. But he's not entertaining. Not everybody is.
No, in most interviews, I think he is though.
Oh, it was just that one.
It was just this one.
I'll say I think it's partially Joe Rogan. Like I just said, you got to listen to a lot of bullshit before you get to the good stuff. So if you only listen to 20 minutes, you might have just like, they're just talking about some bullshit probably. Okay, Beer and Blood says, can I get your guys' thoughts on the flyweight division? It's crazy to not give Cape a shot. He lost to Pantoja in FC debut. Since the start of his UFC career, he's been undeniable. The Makhachev fight was hindered by cheating and stall tactics. He's good on the mic and flashy. It's a good way to solve the current start problem, especially at 125. So he's saying Cop deserves the next title shot. Yeah, give it to him. I respect Cop. He good on the mic, solid fighter.
Manel Cop in the flyweight division?
Yeah.
Versus Alexander Pantoja?
Yeah. Next title challenger for Pantoja.
Okay. I like Cop too. But I don't know. I'd give it to Kirikov France first.
Oh, you would? Because he knocked out what's his name? France knocked out the white dude from
Steve
Australia, Ursig, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I hear the only thing that with Cobb is I hate that fight versus Mohamed Makhachev. That was the fight I was like, bro, like you guys got into so much outside fucking bullshit, and then when you guys went in there, you guys didn't even put on a fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, well, he said that like he's saying like the one bad fight was the Makhachev fight.
Right. It was a horrible fight.
Yeah.
Like if he had won that fight too, and he was at this point, I'd have a whole different outlook on it. But I do know he'll sell the fight for you though.
Yeah, and I guess Kaikar France, I guess he can't be in contention. He's 1-2 in the last 3, so he needs to win at least one more.
Yeah, I can put some steam on that too. Actually, I agree with that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, he lost to Albaza. He lost to Brendan Moreno.
But one more though, and he's in talks.
Oh yeah, one more. more dominating one too.
Yeah, and it seems like the homie likes the flyweights, and no disrespect to your division, brother, but flyweight is, and I'm gonna say this with kind of a compliment for Kai France to get a title shot. Flyweight's kind of like the women's division. Like, you only got to win like 1 or 2 fights to get a title shot. Most of these other divisions, you got to win like 3, 4, 5, 6. You feel me? Depending on how big your name is. But in the flyweights, you're 1 or 2 wins away from or 2 or 3 wins away from a title shot. So Kai get one more good knockout, he'll probably get a title shot. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, and I think I'm a big Brandon Royval guy, but he's fought a few times against the champ, and just hasn't been able to pull it through. The champ is the champ for a reason.
Right. Before I forget, Blood and Beer, subscribe, brother. We've been tapped in with you. You've been tapped in with us, so appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
shout out to Blood and Beer.
Yeah.
Blood and Beer, interesting.
Blood and Beer sounds like a good fight night to me.
Right.
Okay, I think we got the last topic of the day.
Okay.
Sean Strickland beat up Sky Bree's boyfriend. Now, if you're an avid corn watcher, right, you will know who I'm talking about. But if you don't know, Sky Bree's like a OnlyFans chick too, and she has a boyfriend. He's kind of a cuck, dude. Like, this guy's in the same circle with like Aiden Ross and shit, and like Sky Bree like fucked Aiden Ross and all this stuff, like wild shit, right? But this guy's like dating her, like knowing all that and being in that circle, and then he went and got his ass kicked by Sean Strickland.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you want me to fucking respect this guy? I fucking hate this shit, bro. I hate it.
It's just such a weird world we live on right now.
Such a weird world.
Yeah, OnlyFans, content creators, UFC fighters. Let's put all these people together. You got Nina, you got fucking these guys. So what? I didn't even see the video. So he ended up beating up.
Bro, Sean was throwing elbows and shit, like hard.
Yeah, because it's meaningless when you beat someone up that's not a trained athlete.
Yeah, and then they turn around and be like, "I did a good job against the UFC champion."
Right. Because they know they're going to use it for content.
Yeah. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Damned if you beat the fuck out of him, damned if you don't, because you should have. But then you're an asshole if you did. It's a lose-lose for the fighter.
Okay, it's a lose-lose for the fighter when you've done it more than once.
I could hear
like
that. Like,
what is it? What does it get you at this point?
I don't know. I guess the guy just hit him up and asked him to train. Apparently the kid wanted to do technique.
And here's the other thing too with Sean Strickland. You know me, I don't like his antics outside the ring. But why didn't we do that versus DDP?
That's what everybody's been saying.
Twice.
I mean, to be honest, like the head kicks and stuff, yeah. Strickland didn't throw one head kick against DDP.
Well, because you can beat this dude up like he's not a trained athlete like you are, and the guy, that's only a content game. That's just for show.
Yeah,
it doesn't impress anybody.
No, it doesn't, not at all.
And I don't even talk. Yeah, I don't even talk down to Sean Strickland about doing it. I mean, whatever. But it's almost like though. But when you see him see red and he can't stop fighting a content creator, it's like, bro, you already know you could beat this man up. You don't have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
He's almost like he has something to prove to this guy. It's like him fighting me. Like, you already know you can whoop my ass. Like, what are you proving?
Kind of, right? Like, instead of making it look so try hard out there like he was doing, it's like just land that one kill shot like Ilya does.
Yeah.
You've seen the videos of Ilya, right? With like a liver shot and then the guy just drops to the floor.
Yeah.
Like, just do something like that, bro. Or like even how Buckley did it with Neon and shit. I don't know. I guess Strickland does kind of have a rough way of doing it. You know?
Yeah, because he goes all out. He goes Rambo on him.
Yeah. And he takes it kind of like serious. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just big brother the guy. Like, I got homies, right, who I'm like 25, 30 pounds heavier than, who I could beat without looking like I'm pissed. You feel me?
Right.
And I feel like you're saying, Sean beats these guys' asses, but like sees red. And it's like, dude, chill.
Yeah.
Chill a little bit.
Like a dog foaming at the mouth fucking trying to kill somebody.
And it's like you're foaming out the mouth and that's all you did. Like, this guy didn't even fall to the floor and you're foaming.
Yeah.
You know? Foaming out the mouth. He wasn't that mad, but he was kind of like aggressive with it. Apparently the guy wanted to do technique though, and Sean's like, no, we have to spar. So maybe the guy didn't even call him out. Maybe the guy's like, just teach me jujitsu. And Sean's like, no, you gotta spar me. Which is kind of a dick move. You know?
Yeah,
And if you're going to force me to spar you, be like Buckley and Neon. Just give me light work. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, it's even crazy too. Like I was watching some of Nina's like videos with the WWE, and like making it look like super sexual. It's like, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah. Nina fucking, she's doing her thing. She's fucking on another fucking universe. Yeah. I ain't even in her fucking stratosphere. We're on different orbits, me and Nina. Yeah, Nina's probably making a thirst trap as we speak. Let me say this one real quick. Well, no, that's pretty much it.
Well, remind me. So you have Ian Garry. Is it going to go to a decision, or how is that going to end?
I don't see Ian. Does he make Prates quit? That'd be crazy.
I think we got one video of Prates quitting, and then it's been like blown up.
Yeah, but in the fight game, that's the problem though. You do, like, even Ryan Garcia got a lot of shit talked on him. If you do it once,
you have it once, yeah.
You could do it again.
You got a little quit in you.
Because the difference is Ian. Where's the footage of Ian then? Drop that footage. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one thing he's got over him, and it's a big thing.
That is a big thing.
I agree. Big thing.
You never want to quit like that.
Yeah, it's rough that he fucking dug that footage up. I had no clue. But can he make Prates quit? I don't really think so. I think maybe it'll go decision. My thing is, I've never seen Prates go 5 rounds. I have all these doubts about him, and I think Prates is about to meet his match. So in my opinion, let's see if Prates can swim. I think he's going to be kind of like treading behind a lot of the fight.
And that's why it's going to be a good fight night.
Unless he can knock out Ian. But let me say this, though, to conclude it, right? For all the bettors out there, let me tell you this. Yeah, Prates hasn't been to a decision in 5 years. So I don't know how he's going to go 5 rounds if that's the case. Let me say this, though, right? Big deciding factor here. Ian Garry fought MVP, right? We've seen what MVP does to these guys. He's a great striker. Mm-hmm. There's no way Prates is going to do worse to Ian Garry than what MVP did to Ian Garry. And MVP barely touched Ian Garry.
Yeah, but Ian Garry and Prates are 2 different style fighters, too, though.
No, I'm saying Prates and MVP. But you're saying those 2 are different style fighters.
Yeah, because MVP is more of like a karate guy. He's like a points guy.
Yeah, but we'll see how it plays out. But I think he's more of a skilled striker than, like, put him against Prates. What happens? Close one.
I think Prates beats him MVP.
Well, we would have to see.
Yeah.
But I think it would be closer than you think.
I think Prates is more of a killer. Him and Gene Silva remind me of almost the same fighter. And Rufy.
Fair enough.
Because they and not just because they fight in the same camp. Take the camp out of it. There's something about these 3 guys that they go in, they smell blood, they're in there. And I think they're competitive like that too. And Prates has been able to show it, not only in the UFC, but I think there's like 4 fights. I think he's on an 8-fight win streak outside of not only.
Well, he's on a big win streak, all knockouts for sure.
Right. And I don't think they're all knockouts, but he's on a really good. A lot of them were.
Pretty sure all of them are knockouts, to be honest.
He has that. He can smell the killer instinct with him, which I love.
He can, but can he hit Ian? MVP could barely hit Ian.
Okay, so I see that. So he's gonna have to be a lot more crafty in his attacks.
Yeah.
So and make it a dirty fight to get close.
We'll see.
To get close to him, right? Because Prates has that killer knee too. Like he'll throw knees. Okay, this is what's gonna happen.
He does have that kill shot with the knee for sure. Very, very deadly.
He's gonna catch him. And he's gonna cut. I think it's scar tissue. That's what's cut. He's gonna cut the scar tissue. He's gonna be bleeding out of the 2nd round. He's gonna finish him in the 3rd. Prates in 3.
We'll see.
And I appreciate and I initially was going for Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry's really a good fighter.
Mm.
The cut sold me.
Prates can knock out pretty much anyone if he lands that shot. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight.
Because you know how too, like Gene Silva was like with not to say that our boy Bryce is anything like Ian Garry. Ian Garry's here. Bryce is probably here. But Gene Silva I kept on feeling like he was like, oh, I'll wait till I find it. Wait till I find it. When he found it, he just attacked.
Mhm.
If Carlos can find it, he's gonna shock the world.
Yeah. He fights in that similar style, like how you said that, where he can find that shot. We will see. We will see. Because Ian is very skilled, and I guess the counter to your point, like I've been saying, is the fact that Ian can't really get hit. Ian is very good at not getting hit. So
And if
let's see.
if Ian takes him to the ground, I think Ian beats him on the ground.
Which is a whole nother aspect of the game, right? And I think
Right.
Ian's aware of that. I think everybody's aware of that.
Yeah.
And that'll all play out. Like we always say, right? You got to be well-rounded. A lot of times in hindsight, when these fights are over, it's like, oh, Sean Strickland, yeah, we should have known because he never wrestles. But, so it's one of those things. Prates doesn't wrestle. He doesn't grapple at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he does, but it's not his specialty.
Well, he doesn't even take you down. I mean, he grapples
Yeah.
in training. So does Sean. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not their.
That's not how they fight. So we'll see.
Yeah. Ian Garry could definitely tap you.
Yeah. It'll be a good one. Very excited. Shout out to the UFC for fucking matching this one up. The homie says 10 straight KOs for Prates.
Damn, that's crazy.
10.
And 4 in the UFC, right?
Yeah, but he also has one before on Contender Series that he got to get in. If I'm not mistaken, he has 5 in the UFC.
Okay.
1 on Contender Series.
Okay. I mean,
so 6 kind of in the UFC, 4 before the UFC.
If he gets another dominant win, we're talking about like what Shavkat was doing to scratch the surface, becoming of like, finishing guys.
Mm-hmm.
If he finishes Garry and Shavkat couldn't finish Garry, he's going to be put in another conversation. And then we really need to talk about stop smoking cigarettes, because if you're gonna make that title run, let's get that out
It's
of
time
it.
to get off that shit.
Yeah.
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 So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the rest of your life to go smoke. Win the belt.
Yeah, bro. Seriously. Lock in for a couple more years. All right, boys. Peace out. Thank